What is going on, Wolfpack Savage here? In today's video, we're going to be revisiting the new Rebirth mode. Now, because Rebirth is so short, we're going to be covering two viewer-submitted Rebirth matches. We're going to be analyzing and breaking down everything that the viewers are doing, as well as their team and the enemy, and discussing different things if I see fit, as far as ADS sensitivity, teamwork, and other aspects that you guys could adjust in order to improve your own gameplay. But before we get into the video, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, join the Wolfpack today. Also, leave a like on the video. Let's get this video to 1,200 likes. And as always, if you guys are looking for teammates to play with who actually use their brain, make sure you join our Discord community and take advantage of the looking for groups pages so that you guys can go out there and get some wins. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the video. All right, so we did spawn in the middle of the match. Unfortunately, 15 enemies are already dead, but he doesn't have any kills, so it doesn't look like we missed out on too much. Now, I do love this building. This is one of the better buildings on the lower portion of the map. Now, when you're playing this map, or when you're playing Rebirth Island, remember, you want close range weapons. Don't have a sniper in your loadout. Try to avoid ARs as much as possible. Most of your combat's going to be close quarter, especially as you get better and you start pushing enemies and you start getting a lot of kills. You're going to have to go in clustered areas where there's a lot of enemies at, and guess what? You're going to need some fast firing weapons that do a lot of damage, and that's going to be your SMG classes. We are able to get 2 downs. Unfortunately, we can't vault through the window because there's a bookshelf next to us. Get in there and get the executions before they get the res off for sure. And try to be careful playing the outside of the building for too long, because again, everyone's going to be looking to where the gunshots are coming from. So you guys are basically sitting targets, sitting on the outside. So get into the buildings and run from building to building. Utilize the cover to your advantage. Now, as far as the circle is concerned right now, again, circles aren't a major player in this game type. They really aren't, but you definitely want to use the circle's information to your advantage. For instance, we know there's going to be a lot of people here, not just based on the mini map, but also the fact that this is the edge of the circle. Even though we don't have to really worry about rotating as much in this game mode, you can still play the edge to gatekeep anybody who's out here in the security area. Also, when you're on the edge of the circle, especially since it's a newer game mode, people are going to be playing the edge because it's habit from Warzone. But as people figure out the meta of this mode and they start getting a little more comfortable, you really want to be around the middle of the map. The prison is one of the best spots to get better at your movement, get better at your aim, and get some high kill win. That's where you're gonna have to be at. If you're going to be playing the edge, you definitely don't want to sit up in one building. You want to try to rotate and kill team after team after team, because if you're just sitting in one spot, it's just allowing other enemies to come and pinch you. So if you want to sit still, this is probably one of the better buildings to do that in, because you can actually watch the staircase. You're protected for the most part. The only thing you have to worry about is people landing on the roof and coming down and shooting you when you guys are tunneled on other things in the windows. But that's just a recommendation. So let's see what happens. We got an enemy in here fighting our teammate. He goes down. And again, most of your fights, as you can see, are going to be close quarter. You will have every now and then, you'll have a long range combat go on, but it's so very rare. Again, I don't recommend rocking long range weapons. ARs, that's hit or miss. If you guys want to rock an AR, for sure, absolutely, it's still a very viable thing. But snipers, stay away from snipers in this mode. Now we're on the rooftop. Oh God, no. Why would you jump off, brother? No. So in this position, when we were on the rooftop, we could have got an easy clap without actually having to put ourselves in a bad position. However, again, the rooftop's not really safe because your entire north-hand side is exposed to all of prison and all of tower and all of these other things over there. So you definitely don't want to sit still on the roof. But if you notice this roof right here, it's a V, right? So all you had to do is walk to this side of the roof right here at the very top, come down in this portion. That way you're protected from this direction. And then you could have easily shot these guys without, again, putting yourself in a bad position. So that's something I definitely recommend. Again, you want to use these buildings layouts to your advantage. For example, the arch of the roof. Start using that as cover instead of just jumping off, possibly into your death. Yeah, shotguns, you want to hip fire. The shotguns in this game, or in Cold War in general, are animals, especially with hip firing. You really don't need to ADS those guns. Most shotguns should be built for hip fire anyway, and they're pretty beamy. They're pretty damn accurate. But now we need to move out of this position. But again, circle rotations aren't that necessary because we have so long to do it, not to mention the map's so small that no matter what your plan is, you're going to run into some enemy teams. But we need to go running a gun, and you want to get your kill count up. You want to get out of here. People are dead around us. No one else is really going to mess with us. So move on to the next spot. Then we have another enemy rotating. Now he bulldozed it across the street when he really didn't have to. There's a line of buildings, as you guys can see, that he could just bounce from building to building to building, never having to really leave hard cover, and then eventually rotate it up to safety. I'm not really sure why he did that. Not really the best play. And also objectives in this game mode, meh, stay away from them if you can. I think the objectives are more of a distraction in this mode as opposed to being a benefit in Warzone. At least that's just the way I play Rebirth Island. And the reason why I said that is it kind of looked like the enemy was going for the recon objective, but he might not have been. So the whole idea, the whole premise behind Rebirth Island is fast-paced gameplay. I'm not recommending you guys do fast-paced gameplay just to get better. That's the whole premise behind this entire map. Combat after combat after combat, high octane, lots of action to get better at your movement, getting better at gunplay. That's why, again, I definitely recommend once you guys start getting a little more comfortable, start going in spots like, you know, prison and getting some close range fights. Play those prison cells. Any tournament you guys watch that's involving this map, I guarantee you they're gonna be playing prison for the most part, and then making rotations on the outskirts of prison, hitting buildings like this right here, and then of course this long building that's over here to our right. And they're gonna be playing that area because this is where the majority of players are gonna be at. Now we have a ping enemy, we have a teammate down here as well. I like the fact that we're trying to go down here to hopefully help our teammate. Our teammate did get a kill. It may have been the guy we pinged, but it didn't look like he was looking that direction. So you definitely want to at least see if you can protect your teammate because he is out of position. He needs to get to you guys. Now, again, as this game type evolves and people start figuring it out, people are going to be camping a lot less. There will always be campers no matter what. This is Call of Duty at the end of the day. This is where campers are bred at. But for the most part, there won't be as many campers. So again, I highly recommend you guys run a gun. Now, this guy, he's either above us on the floor or he's on the roof. I can't see where the ping's at. Also, recommendation, guys, once y'all clear a building, and this is if you're chasing kills down, which again I recommend, but once you clear a building, get out. Don't stay too long. Don't wait. Go from building to building to building. Start rotating. Start clearing them out. Wipe them the hell out. Do it as a squad. Do it solo. Whatever you prefer. But definitely bounce from building to building. You don't want to sit up in a one building for too long. You may end up getting a win, which is awesome. But when it comes to Alcatraz, I want you guys to start focusing on higher kill wins. We finally moved on, but unfortunately our teammates are still in those buildings. They're slowly coming now because this right here is a good opportunity for you guys to run around and get kills. And remember, if you die, you do get to come back. So that should definitely amp you guys up to go in there and get in some fights because not all hope will be lost when you die. You just come back in, get your shit again, and go after some more kills. Use the opportunity that you have that you can just keep coming back to your advantage. Start getting in some more fights, start getting some more kills. But I'll stop talking about getting more kills. Let's go ahead and talk about the map. Now we're on the rooftop. Rooftop of prison has so many angles. You basically cover the entire map. Granted, you can't shoot people that are camping in the outskirts buildings, but when people start rotating, moving around, you'll have great opportunity to shoot down on them. Not to mention, a lot of people are inside of prison, will be coming up the stairs, and you can get free kills like that. So this is a great spot. However, on the flip side, when people come back from the gulag, where are they going to want to go? If it's not their own loot for whatever reason, it's going to be the rooftop of this. People love landing up here. So just be aware, if you're sitting up here posted up, you're probably going to have some people landing in on you. Oh, we have an enemy down there. And this is where I say I don't mind ARs. SMG at that range isn't going to do much of shit. So if you guys want to rock an AR, that's a perfect example. Granted, I'd rather you guys be down there inside the buildings on the ground, kind of running and gunning, getting some practice in with movement. But if you do choose to sit up on a rooftop, by all means, rock an AR. Just still avoid snipers. No, don't. Oh, no, don't do it, bro. Crawford, don't do it, man. Not the RPG. And may actually get that. Oh. I stand corrected, brother. Boom. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Swap out that RPG. Yeah. And rock your two main guns. Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a nice little ranged weapon for sure. For sure. But look at the circle. We've got a great spot. We have eyes on everything. And again, when it comes to Warzone, I highly recommend never camping. And I definitely recommend don't camp in this. But when you're talking about the prison rooftop, you can't really consider this camping. Technically, yes, it does fit in the definition. But this is such a great vantage point. But now we're in a situation where we can do whatever we want. There's only two enemies left. Or we can run down inside the building, go down the staircases, clear out this building. If no one's here, then we can kind of rotate and play the walls. because they're either A, going to be inside this building under us, or B, they're going to be playing the wall right here. That's the only two options that they have. And because of the circle's rotation and because of where it's going to next, I kind of want to get a little bit better spot than we're at now. But we do spot, there's the team below us. Yep. And that's pretty common sense. I mean, you guys could figure that out on your own. There's only two spots to hide right there. But where do you think people are going to be hiding at the most? Inside the building that's safe, right? Most of the time, if they can hide inside of a building instead of this wall, they will, because if you're along the wall, you could get picked from behind or a different angle. So of course, people are going to be held up inside of buildings. But here we are now spectating our second team, and he is deciding where to go to. Now, while he's got the map up, let's talk about different spots I recommend landing. There's usually 4 different spots that I would recommend. Prison for sure, if you want to hot drop and really slay out. And again, if you die, just back out and restart. It's really not a bad thing. It's the best way to practice, in my opinion. Bioweapon Labs is awesome as well, because the rotations from there, you can just go anywhere. As well as security area is actually pretty hot. A lot of enemies there, and then you can always work your way back in as well. Or decon zone. I love decon zone. I think it's a great building. I think it's a great place to out-rotate enemies. And again, you're so close to bioweapon, you'll get in some fights with that, and as well as prison block. But these are going to be your 4 main areas that I recommend. I don't recommend landing by the tents or landing living quarters. Maybe Nova 6 Factory as well is an awesome spot. But the scary part about Nova 6 Factory is there's so many rooms, there's so many tunnels, there's so many hiding spots. You're going to run into some people camped up. So I, for one, try to avoid going to that area, because you're going to be walking through a door and you're going to get your head blown off because there's somebody sitting there just watching the doorway. So I definitely recommend avoiding that place at all. The reason why prison is so much different than factory is because it's mostly wide open. You do have to worry about people camping inside of cells, but at the end of the day, if they're camping in a cell, they're probably not that good anyway. And it's really easy to shoot into the cells and get the kills. So I think this is a little bit better rotations and a little bit more protection than Nova 6 Factory. But here we are spectating Buckets, and him and his squad are landing on the outskirts. Now, again, it's all preference. You can get kills basically anywhere you land at, because that's how the map's designed, right? Let me turn the volume down. The sirens are loud as shit. Get wrecked. I can hear him laughing too. You see this right here? This right here. Stop doing this. Turn your auto parachute off. I know you guys are afraid to break your ankles. I know you're afraid that your game's not going to register it, but you're better off releasing your parachute at this point than floating it the hell in, because you're going to get shot. He's lucky we only have a pistol. Now, when you land in this map, you instantly want to grab weapons. You instantly want to try to find an SMG, a shotgun, or something that you can use in close range. Again, stay away from snipers if you can, but definitely utilize the actual weapons to your advantage. This mode is also awesome to practice your pistol kills. The only reason why I got good with pistols on Black Ops 4 was because of this mode. All right, but the enemy's gone. Now we need to move out. We need to move out. We're really not going to find anything better than what we have on these dead bodies, because again, they just spawned in as well. So I wouldn't be too worried about looting their bodies. You want to go ahead and start getting to a normal spot where you can actually get some real guns, because that shotgun's not bad, but it's not going to win you the game, and neither are these pistols. Now, whether you guys want to use normal weapons or loadout weapons is all up to you, but I definitely recommend getting a Rebirth Island class built and trying your best to get your loadout drop, because a fully decked out Mac 10 is going to be absolutely amazing compared to using a, picked up blue shotgun. Also, melee. You got to use melee in this mode. It is crucial. Perfect example right there. Because all the combat and all the fights are so close quarter, you guys want to try to develop the reaction time and the reflex to go ahead and hit that melee if you see somebody in their face. Also, because of the mode and because of how fast paced it is, I highly recommend just going ahead and using your self-res or bleeding out and coming back. Because if your teammate wastes the time, this right here wasn't a big deal because we went ahead and popped most of the res. But most of the time, if you're dying and you don't have a self-res, just bleed out, because all you're going to be doing is putting your teammate in a position to get shit on while he's trying to go for a res. It's a small map. A lot of players are clustered together. And if you try to waste your time going for a res, he's going to come up and shoot you in the head. We might see that here right now, depending on what happens. This might literally actually happen in real time. It didn't though, because the team refused to push. Now, if you're in the enemy team's position, you want to go ahead, just like in Warzone. If you get a knock, you want to push in there. Again, long distance fighting, especially in this map, really isn't that fun, because you're going to get a knock, you're going to get a knock, you're going to get a knock, and what's going to happen? They're just going to keep getting res. So if you get a pick, capitalize on it. I, for one, hate doing damage. I'd rather get kills than damage, right? So because it's a close range map, You want to make sure you push the enemies because of long range fighting. All right, he's getting the res off right next to us, actually. Go ahead and focus up. Get the plates, bro. Get him down. Hurry up and get him. All right, we got two, but there's an enemy right in front of us as well. We got to go ahead and get to cover, hide behind it, or we're going to go down. Now, I'm not really going to harp on you that much, Buckets, because you were reloading and I barely saw him as it was, and I'm actually paying attention to everything. You're super hyper focused in the middle of combat. And again, hindsight 2020, it's very easy for us to sit on the outside and tell you what to do looking in. And I know when you're in the middle of combat, you're trying to look at everything and you might not spot it. So I'm not going to critique it. But again, you want to make sure that after you get a kill or after you get a knock, you jump back to cover and pop your reload. You don't want to sit here and reload in the open because you will get caught up. So that moment, you want to practice rotating the buildings, practice your movement. The moment you get the knock, you get the other knock. If you're not going to go for the execution, dive back around, finish your reload, replay it up, do whatever you need to do, then jump back out there and finish the kill. But Savage, you said to go ahead and push the enemy if you get a knock. He had 2 knocks. You make no sense. Well, it makes sense because our armor's broken, right? When the enemy team downed our teammate, he had full plates. At least I'm assuming he did. In that position, it made sense for him to push. But because we needed to reload and because we didn't have any armor plates, I definitely want to bail from that fight. Went inside this building, replated, reloaded, and went at it again. But we did get both the kills, so let's go. Let's go, come Buckets. I like the fact that you pulled your parachute last second. Great. And I know it seems like basic stuff, but guys, we see it in almost every video that I spectate. Someone's just sitting here holding their parachute, just taking the sweet ass time to come back down to the earth. Don't do that. It doesn't make any damn sense. So at this point, what do you do? At this point, what do you do? Just keep finding fights. So the whole thing about Alcatraz is that most people aren't going to be suppressed. Legitimately, most people aren't. Either they don't have their loadouts or they just died and came back from the gulag, or I guess heaven, since there is no gulag here. They just died and came back. So guess what? They're not going to have their loadout. And as you see, none of these guys in the building do. They're showing up on the ping. So it's going to be very easy for you guys to hunt people down. Just chase the dots on the minimap. Also, I changed the shit out of that scope. Screw that, bro. You can actually camp that scope and make it a close range hollow or EOTech, whatever you want to call it. I love the fact that you utilize your hip fire. Absolutely awesome, especially since you had that little bit of range on that scope. You definitely want to hip fire if you're in a situation like that. And great use of hip firing for sure. Remember, guys, if you're in a close quarter combat, you want to try to hip fire as much as you can to your advantage. Some guns are built for really good hip firing. Some guns don't have the best. But it's going to be easier for you to track the target if you're not in your scope, which means you're hip firing, right? The moment you ADS, your vision is going to be constricted, as well as your ADS sensitivity. It's going to be a lot harder to track the enemy. So definitely that close in combat, you want to try to hip fire the enemy as much as possible. So the good thing about this building that I like is there's a rooftop you can get up to, there's a second floor and a first floor. And I definitely want to try to hit the enemies from different angles. And I understand the want to go out there and get the executions. I really do. And for the most part, you want to push up and try to get the executions, but don't die for them. We didn't know where his other 2 teammates were. We kind of just jumped out there blind to get the execution, and now we're getting messed up and we may die. All right, but we're in a position now where we could push the team in the house, and if Orange pushes in, you definitely want to go help them. Oh shit. But we have a free loadout drop behind us as well, which you might want to take advantage of. The decision's yours. If Orange was to go in there and push, orange, yellow, whatever, if he wants to go in there and push, definitely help him. Now we're kind of caught up. There's a team in the other house as well, maybe the same team, but it's 2 different enemies. So definitely bail back and try to get your loadout so you can actually fight with weapons you're comfortable with. And I'm curious to see the loadout. I see a lot of people rocking snipers, and again, stop it. Stop using snipers in this game mode. Don't do it. All right, not a bad setup. Not a bad setup. Got a kilo, which kilos is a savage. Again, you want to make a rebirth build. I definitely don't recommend the VLK. You could red dot anything at these ranges, honestly. Because if you're in a house like this and someone was around the corner and you had a VLK scope and he was around your left-hand side right now, guess what? It'd be very hard for you to be able to accurately be able to shoot him. 1, this thing has terrible hip fire, so you're going to have to ADS it. And 2, because of the zoom, you're going to be seeing a whole lot of nothing. RCXD in here? Is that what that is? That's what it sounds like. Got an enemy outside to our left-hand side. You can hear him in the grass. And again, use your audio knowledge to your advantage. I definitely peek out that window, look down, and shoot him in the skull. He's probably going to push up eventually. Damn, that sucks. All right, we got the execution, and again, I feel comfortable pushing that squad. We have our loadout. We outnumber them. I definitely would go in there and take advantage of the fact that we outnumber them and have our shit. And we've got concussions on top of that. Also, thermite. I highly recommend running thermite in this game mode as well, for sure.
I could hear a guy around on the first floor.
But again, you want to try to rotate buildings and building hop. I don't ever recommend sitting in the same building because again, you're going to lose out on possible kills. You want to get out there and get more kills. Alcatraz is literally designed to move. That's what the whole map's designed for. That's why the buildings are laid out like this. If it was designed to camp up, they would design the map like they did Warzone, right? You want to bounce around. Again, you can literally see a trend of all the buildings. It literally leads around the entire island, and then even the center of the island where prison is has shit that leads up to it, usually stairs and things like that, but they all have cover, they all have railings, they all have things you can kind of prone behind if you get shot at. This map was designed for you to play aggressive, so you want to make sure you're trying not to sit up as long as possible and you actually go and clear these buildings out, because you could have a potential 4 teams right here within these 4 buildings, and that could be a lot of kills added onto your kill count right now. And again, winning is important in this mode too, for sure, but I would rather win in Alcatraz with, 10, 15 kills than win with like 3 or 4. Again, Rebirth Island hits differently. Now, another thing too is you want to be peeking the windows. If you do decide to sit up in a building, you want to peek the windows. You don't have to sit there and camp the windows, but you want to at least peek all the windows. That way, when people are pushing across, you can again get other kills. If you're just sitting here watching a staircase, you're literally just limiting yourself to that one area of this huge ass map. All right, Blue's going out here playing aggressive as hell. He goes down. Now remember, let him bleed out. He's already almost dead. It's a very bad spot to res him in anyway. Not to mention, a lot of people on this map are going to be baiting. There are a lot of people who can get it down and they're going to sit there and watch them and see if their teammate goes to res them, because again, people are still trying to figure out the meta. So if you're falling behind, you're trying to stick a res out in the open, they're going to clap you in the face. I like the fact we just let him die out, because again, he gets to come back in a good amount of time and go ahead and chase down the kill, man. Win the fights. Remember, this map is different in Warzone. I know I keep saying that, but I want to reiterate. Everything that I tell you guys to do on Verdansk is going to be completely different than Rebirth Islands. 2 different modes completely. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 4 enemy teams, 9 enemies total, so we do have a good advantage. We are one of the few remaining squads that has a full team. Now, we noticed the last building, and Verdansk is going to go ahead and rotate and kind of get a good position offhand, but in this mode right here, you can kind of play the edge of the circle. You can kind of building hop and hunt down kills, which is, again, what I definitely recommend. Now, we have that building marked, and I'm pretty sure I saw him on the rooftop. This right here is an easy kill, hopefully. Oh man, but we have that rooftop marked on green. You can get to the rooftop of this building, and one of the rooms behind us, there's a ladder that goes up, and then you can get an angle on the roof if he's still up there. So that's one recommendation that I have. Now, Orange is pushing up by himself, which again, Rebirth Island is built to be able to solo because of all the cover. You guys get in a 1v3, you can out rotate the enemy and outwork the enemies behind you. Oh no, he's behind you, brother, on the staircase. Or he's below the staircase, but he's definitely there. But notice how we're getting shot, right? We're getting shot from the house, but because of the way the map's designed, we have shit around us, so we have cover. And then it leaves it up to the enemy whether he wants to push us or not. The window broke, so I'm assuming he's gonna push us. But this is what I like about this map and why I keep telling you guys to practice this for Verdansk itself, because if you do get in a 1v3 situation, you can still solo this map because of all the cover. If you get shot at, just dive left. You're probably next to something, right? So here we are now, needing to pop our plates, waiting for the enemy to push us. I guess he's not going to push. I heard the glass break, but I guess the enemy said, screw that, bro. I'm not leaving this house. Hell no. All right. It's a random bouncing Betty, bro. What are the odds? Now, the problem with camping in this house, the problem with camping in any house in this map is because of all the windows that are in the building, you can get pushed by multiple teams at the same time. Literally, like, so when you're sitting up, you want to sit in a spot where you can only have to watch 1 or 2 angles, right? However, being in the middle of this building, which is in the middle of the circle, you're going to get pushed from multiple angles. It's going to be very hard for you guys to fight. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult. You have to watch this door. You have 2 windows on the left-hand side. You have 4 windows behind us. You have 2 windows on that side. And then you have 2 windows on the front side as well. So that's a lot of angles 3 people have to watch. Now, when peeking windows, you want to peek them quickly. I wouldn't sit here in the window too long because, again, time to kill is crucial in this game. It's super fast. And if anybody's half-assed shot, they're going to blaze you down before you realize even which hit you. The thermite, can we do it, bro? Oh, damn. right, but the circle rotated.
Push back, bro. Hey, we should push back around this side.
He's right. I'm glad he's saying that, and I love the fact that he's taking charge. So the circle's rotating to our left-hand side. You want to make sure you get on that left-hand side before other enemies pre-rotate you and end up gatekeeping you. You guys want to be the ones gatekeeping. The only downfall to us being here is we're on the low ground. You want to be on the high ground. You'd rather be on the high ground, but it's not a terrible position. It just depends on if the team up top is going to be aggressive enough to push to the ledge and shoot down on you guys. Because if the answer is yes, you're going to be in a bad spot. So you kind of want to work your way back up to the high ground, especially since the next circle is favoring them as well. But we're in a 2v2 situation now. Technically a 1v2 because the teammate is going to bleed out. And of course, you definitely want to let him bleed out because there's no chance in hell you're going to get him up before the circle kills him. But ladies and gentlemen, we're in a 1v2 situation. These guys could be hiding in any house right now because you know damn well these guys are scared shitless. They don't want to come out and fight you in the open. They're going to wait for you to cross in the open. Go ahead and take that house if you can. Somebody died. I have no idea how. I guess we got the kill, but we see the guy on the radar blip right here on the mini map. He's inside this house. There he is right there, and instantly beaming him with a brand new beautiful weapon. I love it. GG's. Now, when it comes to the Rebirth map, there's only so many tips that I can give, but I will be doing those mostly viewer submitted games. That way I can take you guys' games and give you guys recommendations on what you should do in order to improve as a player. At the end of the day, when it comes to Rebirth Island, it's so small and it's so condensed. There's very few strategies. It's literally just running and gunning and trying to read the map and paying attention to everything around you and chasing down kills based off that. All the teams we spectate stay away from the inside of prison, which again, you want to get in there. There's so many ways and so many corners you can outplay the enemy. If you're getting chased, you can kind of throw an audible and juke the shit out of them and come up behind them. It's a very great spot to practice your rotation. So I want to see you guys get a little bit more aggressive inside of Rebirth Island. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also follow me on all the social media links in the description below. Until next time, you have a good one, and good luck on Rebirth Island. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, check out one of these two bangers right here. And as always, subscribe by clicking that beautiful wolf logo right there. You have a good one, and until next time, keep on improving.